Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 143. This is Under Review coming at you with episode 65.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. We've got a doozy, about to hit you with some absolute sports knowledge, sports fact.
This is all. It's all we do on this show is spit the truth, spitting bars, as the cool kids like to say nowadays. Nick. Today we have an NBA playoff episode for you because the playoffs start tonight on Tuesday night. The play-in tournament starts. So we're just going to be giving our analysis of the events that will transpire here in the NBA playoffs. I just used a lot of big words in that sentence, Nick. So let me know if did you understand that pretty well?
I got to be honest, I wasn't even listening.
I didn't think you were, Nick. I could tell you weren't paying attention. But we're going to jump in with the stat of the week brought to you by Andrews Logistics, our sponsor, obviously. So our stat of the week is about James Harden. He's played for 4 teams now, Nick, 4 NBA teams. Currently on the 76ers. He's a future Hall of Famer, some might say. And the stat is he's played for 14 seasons in the NBA. He's made the playoffs every single season. So
that's actually a pretty good stat.
It's a good stat to have. Never really made it past the conference finals. So he's never been in the championship, but he's a winner in the regular season. He's always been a good regular season player. So that's your stat of the week brought to you by Andrews Logistics.
So your player of the week, we're actually going to put a little bit of a spin on this one.
No way, not you.
And it's going to be team of the week, but it deserves to be team of the year because now I know that none of y'all watching have caught on to this because it just does not get enough credit, and this team and what they're doing this year does not get any recognition. So we're just going to go ahead and shout them out on Under Review.
Yeah, go for it.
The Boston Bruins got their 63rd win this past weekend, and the significance of that is that is the most wins by any team in a single season. So they just broke an all-time record.
That's a crazy stat in any sport.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That deserves some recognition for sure.
And obviously, it's just how high are they going to set the bar? They have another game tonight, Tuesday night, against the Capitals, and then I believe they have one more left. So could they finish with 65, and is 65 going to be the record? But either way, they set it. They broke the old record of 62, and they are going to go down in history.
That's historic right there. You can always count on Nick to give you a twist for a player of the week. Keep you on your toes. But that's impressive in any sport. That's just tough to do, you know. How many games are in a hockey season? 80 something? So to win 63 of those, that's impressive. It's hard to do. But thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Team of the week. Shout out to the Boston Bruins. You heard it here on Under Review. Let's dive in, Nick. Let's dive into our content that we have for today. NBA playoffs. The play-in starts tonight. We've got the Lakers taking on the Timberwolves, and we've got the Hawks taking on the Heat. Nick, I don't know what your thoughts are on this NBA season, but I, for one, think it's been a good season. We will, however, mention the fact that the Mavs just absolutely decided to give up at the end of the season, and they just didn't even want to make the play-in.
Yeah, I mean,
Luka's not happy.
The Kyrie trade was supposed to turn the season around, and it just turned it straight to the toilet bowl.
Yeah, it was not great. Obviously, we're not here to talk about the Mavs because they're not in the playoffs, but we just had to mention that it was a very disappointing end to the season for the Mavs. So, Nick, looking at this bracket, what matchup intrigues you most?
Yeah, for me, it's probably the. Overall, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the Suns and Clippers. I feel like that'll be a good,
That's such a good matchup.
Matched series.
I'm pumped for that one.
Yes,
I'm pumped for that one.
as am I.
Obviously, the Suns have Kevin Durant. Everybody is excited to see what he's gonna do. I mean, right now, I think since Kevin Durant started, every game that he started for the Suns, they've won. I mean, they're looking really unbeatable at the moment. I do not think that there is a team in the West that I would take to beat them at the moment, other than the Warriors. And I was going to say I like the Warriors-Kings matchup in the West just because the Kings haven't been to the playoffs in over 20 years. Ending their playoff drought, it was the longest playoff drought in sports up until now. They are the 3 seed in the West, and Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox have been carrying them all season. They had over 50 wins, playing the Warriors, who are the 6th seed, but let's be honest, when it comes to playoff, you can never really count out the Warriors, no matter what seed they are. I mean, just with all that experience that they have. And I actually think the Warriors are probably going to win the series against the Kings because it's just when you get Draymond, Clay, and Steph in the NBA playoffs, it's just another ball game.
It's just a familiar scene for them. They've been around playoff basketball for the last, I don't even know, 10 years.
I mean, they're a dynasty, and I think that's super safe to say. They've won 4 championships, and they're just going to keep it going until these guys get too old to play anymore. Also, I'm excited for the Cavaliers and the Knicks. The Knicks have been playing pretty well towards the end of the season, and the Cavs have just been really good all season long. And so that's going to be a good series. The Sixers, Nets, probably the Sixers are probably going to win that one pretty easily, I would say. But obviously, we got to talk about the top seeds in each conference. So right now, Nick, the Bucks are just looking unbeatable. They're just looking unstoppable, and a lot of people think it's going to be Bucks versus Suns for the NBA championship.
Nice little rematch.
Do you like that? Do you like that pick?
I mean, yeah, obviously the Bucks have Giannis, and he's just an absolute beast, and it's looking like nobody's going to be able to touch him. I could honestly see just about – I mean, I could see the Warriors beating just about everybody else in the West, so you can't really count them out. The Suns are kind of up and down. They don't seem like the same Suns they were a few years ago when they made it to the finals.
Right.
But that does not take away from the fact that they still have some pretty good firepower.
Their starting 5 is really
obviously,
good.
You can't ignore the 1 seed in the West of the Nuggets, led by
the
Jokic.
Nuggets. The Nuggets are really – they were really good. Honestly, towards the end of the season, they started slipping a little bit. I don't think the Nuggets make it past the second round. Because the Nuggets, whoever they're going to have to play the Suns or the Clippers. And, the Clippers are really good right now. I just don't feel like the Nuggets are winning a series against either one of those teams. They'll beat the 8 seed, I think, whoever that is. The Grizzlies, I don't know. They're kind of a toss-up. Nobody really likes the Grizzlies right now. The Grizzlies are trying to go for that bad boy team kind of feel. They want everyone to hate them. They want to be the bad guys. They have a guy on there his name is Dylan Brooks. He's kind of a bully. Or he's known around the league as a bully. I think he's attributed over $200,000 in technical foul fines. So
just the goon of the team.
He just likes beating up on people. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see whoever plays them. They normally make a lot of people mad. So that'll be interesting. It would be kind of cool to see them play the Warriors. There's a lot of beef between Draymond and Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green. So I would love to see a Warriors Grizzlies matchup. So in the West, though, the Celtics are really good as well. Boston's looking they're just a really complete team. So I think Western Conference Finals, or Eastern Conference Finals, will be probably Bucks-Boston would be the 1 and 2 seed. They're just, I don't know who's beating them in a 7-game series. Obviously, the Cavs, I think, are going to do pretty good. I don't love the Sixers just because the Sixers have been known to choke. Doc Rivers, the coach, is known as somebody that chokes in the playoffs. But tonight, we've got the Lakers and the Timberwolves playing and then the Hawks and the Heat playing for the East. Those are both 7 and 8 seeds. Basically, how the play-in tournament works, you have 7 through 10 on each conference, those seeds, and they play each other. And then whoever wins the 7 and 8 seed matchup, they go to play the number 2 seed in the conference. And whoever loses plays the winner of the 9 and 10 seed for the 8 seed spot in the entire tournament. So these teams are just playing to get in to the actual playoffs, in which they will probably lose the first round most of the time. A lot of people are taking the Lakers this year, Nick. And this is what I want to talk about. LeBron is back. The Lakers have gotten kind of a better roster. Do you think the Lakers, so if they win, tonight they play the Grizzlies, do you think the Lakers go on? A lot of people are saying they have the potential to win a championship. Thoughts?
Absolutely not. I mean, LeBron is not the guy he once was, a flop. You know, he is old. He does not have the ability to carry a team anymore. I
You're
believe they're going to be first-round exits no matter what they do. But no, I do not see them being close to a championship caliber team.
I don't either. I don't know. I guess it's because LeBron's on the team that everybody kind of likes to just throw stuff like that out there. I guess any team is technically who's in the playoffs and playing right now could potentially win the championship, right? They have an opportunity. But while the Lakers got better, they still aren't good enough to beat like the Suns. Because you got to think about it. It's a 7-game series. So the better team is always going to win because you have to win 4 games to move on.
They'll steal a game or two from whoever they play.
But LeBron, like Nick said, he just can't carry the team on his back right now. He can't, consistently play amazing. I mean, he's obviously one of the greatest players of all time. Notice how I said one of. He is not the greatest player of all time.
Just one of.
Just
one of many.
He hit the scoring record this season. Good for him. That means he's been playing for a really long time and putting up a lot of points. But that does not mean that this season he is carrying a 7 seed all the way to the championship and beating Milwaukee or Boston in the championship. That's just not happening. And the Lakers have shown, like, they had a chance to beat the Clippers this week to put them out of the play-in and just into the playoffs. And the Lakers choked. LeBron choked. They all choked. They just didn't make it. They didn't win the game. They didn't really come close to winning the game. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think that's what we're going to see.
It was a clutch moment right there, and where was LeBron? He was nowhere to be seen, or any other Laker for that matter.
They just got dominated by the Clippers in that game, which was essentially, it was basically a playoff game. Towards the end of the season, you get to those scenarios where they are kind of playoff games. You win or go home, kind of, which the Lakers still have an opportunity to make it, but I just don't see them getting anywhere past the first round. I agree with Nick, and if they do, they're going to lose in the second round. But championship, you got to get through some really good teams in 7-game series. A lot like baseball, the better team's just always going to win because it's a 7-game series. Now, if it was like March Madness and it was just 1 game, yeah, the Lakers would have a shot. But they do not because of this. Any other matchups on this bracket you like? Any other teams?
I mean, that's probably it for now. I think the play-in games are going to be super interesting to watch because it's kind of a one shot to, save your season, essentially. But other than that, I think all the other matchups are kind of set.
I would say the play-in tournament's kind of cool just because it's 1 game. It is a lot like March Madness. It's win or go home. So, like, over the next few nights, it'll be play-in probably until, like, Friday night's probably the last game of the play-in tournament. Watch the play-in games because I think they'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to them. You'll see a lot of intensity. The NBA season, it's kind of tough to watch regular season sometimes. 82 games means it's not as intense as a playoff game would be. These are like basically all game 7s. So it's just going to be really fun to watch these teams play to either keep going or go home. And this is what, the regular season's all about. It's all about playoffs. We're finally here. Everybody loves NBA playoffs. I mean, it's going to take like 2 months before the playoffs are over. Mm-hmm. But we've entered into the exciting time in the NBA where they're actually playing their hardest and going at it defensively as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe we'll see some defense.
It's very, very rare that you see defense in the regular season. But the teams that are in it all are looking pretty good, and it's going to be really exciting with a lot of exciting games. So we're pumped for it here at Under Review. And Nick, who are you taking to win it all?
I am taking the Lakers. Just kidding. No, I'm just going to go ahead and say the Bucks. Obviously, that's a fallback on a 1 seed, but it just does not look like anybody's beating them.
Yeah, they've been the most dominant all season. I agree with you. I think the Bucks are winning it all. I don't think Boston's beating them either.
No.
Even though that'll be a good series to watch. But yeah, I agree. Giannis is the best player in the league. He's been the best player in the league for the last 5 years. He's got some good guys around him. I think the Bucks take it.
They've got that experience as well. They won one a few years ago. So they all know what it's like.
Excited to see it.
Well, here's how we like to end our shows on Under Review. I've brought to you a quote by the Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
I'm like tax. You're going to pay one way or the other. And that's the truth.
He could say that because he was so dominating.
Indeed.
I wish I played basketball like Shaquille O'Neal. Unfortunately, I lack a couple feet. So I can't. But that's... What was that face, Nick?
That's neither here nor there.
Okay. All right. We got to have a conversation off the air. But thank you for listening. And Nick doubts my basketball abilities, which I don't really appreciate. But thank you for tuning in here on Under Review. We will see you guys next week.